I don't know what the heck is going on here. Hello? Are we doing it? Or am I just effed? Hello? Are we here? Hello? What's up, King Yeti? Alright, we're back. We're so back. Yeah, I'm dropping frames like a motherfucker. I don't know what the deal is. I really don't. I don't know what the deal is. What's the deal? Alright, cool. I'm looking pretty good over here on YouTube as well. Oh boy. Or am I just effed? Hello? Are we here? Hello? What's up, King Yeti? Alright, we're back. We're so back. Yeah, I'm dropping frames like a motherfucker. I am. I don't know what the deal is. I'm like currently dropping frames. %25 over the last 2 minutes. It just does what it wants. It just does what it wants any old time. Kenneth346, what's up, bitch? Good morning. I'm having issues, man. I'm having tech issues. Or am I just effed? Oh. I'm just effed, I think. I'm at the mercy of technology. It's up to 3,000 kbs. I don't know what that means. But I know it's a lot. I'm on repeat. What you mean? Better not be. I don't like repeating myself, even if it's, a glitch in the Matrix. All right.
Ever wanted. And once energy is free, robotic labor will be free. Once robotic labor is free, we will truly be living in an age of abundance. Education will be AI-driven, personalized, and always on. Housing effectively will be free. Everyone will have robot assistants doing anything they don't want to do. And voila, we're the people from WALL-E, obese and riding around in chairs, barely able to stand up. Everything will be easier and cheaper, but will it be better? In a world without friction, without necessity, without effort, what is it that's going to give life meaning? In a world where automatic forces threaten to suck us into the abyss, how do we take control and avoid the traps laid out before us? Welcome to Part 5. Where do we go from here? 5 steps to mastering the AI revolution. 2 stories, both true. One will break your heart, the other will light the way forward. In 2023, the release of a largely unknown AI model called ChatGPT bankrupted a billion-dollar company in roughly 72 hours. The company was called Chegg. It was a titan of online education, but nonetheless, AI snuffed it out almost overnight. No mercy for the founder who lost everything or the employees who suddenly had no job. One of the countless examples of the old getting killed by the new. Next, in 2024, a 21-year-old college dropout used AI to build a startup that outsmarted Microsoft's hiring system, landing this dropout $25 million in funding, all without him needing to write a single line of code. A tale of 2 companies, both controlled by AI. One destroyed by it because they didn't know how to use it, and the other never could have existed without it. We'll all go down one of those two paths. The only question is, which one? Assuming you want to win, here are the 5 steps to mastering the AI revolution. 1, master the AI tools. Learn all of them. ChatGPT, Manus, VO3, Midjourney, Claude, Sonnet, and whatever else comes next. Prompt like a master. Chain tools together. Build automations for any repetitive tasks. Start fine-tuning your own models if you're brave enough. Build custom GPTs and find ways to craft systems that no one else has. If you don't know what those words mean, look them up now or you really will get left behind. Train your own social algorithm to keep you aware of everything that's going on at the bleeding edge of AI. It moves fast and you want to make sure that you see what's going on. Experiment and get your hands dirty. There is no substitute for actually using these AI tools and seeing exactly what they're capable of, including where they fall apart. You will often have to wade through a river of endless hype to get to the actual tools that are truly revolutionary. But you will be shocked by how far AI can extend your capabilities. 2, build something real. Write books, build tools, teach skills, make games, license content. It has truly never been easier, and this window is going to close fast. Soon, the world is going to be flooded with builders, but for now, you're in a magic window where shockingly few people have actually mastered the tools and are creating with them. This moment reminds me a lot of YouTube back in like 2014. There was competition, but if you had something valuable to offer, you could make millions. I know because I did it with no previous experience. It's all about learning fast and moving even faster. 3, play to the fringes. The edges are where you're going to find the opportunities that are unguarded. That's where the leverage is. My company Quest launched at the height of the Great Recession and sold for $1 billion. Same for Shopify, and today it's worth over $100 billion. Why do these companies still work even in the worst economic environment since the Great Depression? Because a crisis opens up opportunities. It's your job to take advantage of them. Ask yourself, what does AI make possible that wasn't possible before? What niche audience was impossible to serve before AI? What was previously too expensive but now can be done very cheaply? Find a forgotten or underserved niche. Figure out where the freaks and geeks are that have a rabid appetite for your idea. Apple, of all companies, started in a super nerdy, obscure computer club. My own YouTube content, which has now been viewed over 1 billion times, started inside of a protein bar company. Great things often start in small, diehard communities. Find them and serve them with the leverage that AI gives you. Jeff Bezos started.
Good morning, Oscar Electric. We're learning about how AI is about to take over the world in the next 2 years. Pretty cool shit. I'm excited about it. Can we just fast forward that to now? I'm here for the takeover. I'm submissive, dude. I'm gonna be really, really, really good at this dystopian future.
Started Amazon when only 14% of Americans had internet access. Do not wait until AI has saturated the market, which is happening fast. If you want to win big, get started immediately.
He's essentially saying, what's up, why not? He's essentially saying that the more it rolls downhill, the bigger it's going to get, and fast, real fast. It's not going to look like it does today in 2 years, that's for sure. It's like bursting exponentially. I think he said like something like 300%. That's fucking wild. I'm a little too submissive. I am a little too submissive. I blame that on religious upbringing. I really do.
Work on nights and weekends if you have to. There's no need to quit your day job. Just start building in your spare time. AI speeds everything up. Use that to your advantage. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about building. The first 3 steps to mastering AI are about the narrow window of time that we're in right now before AI beats us at everything. Once that happens, and it will, I certainly hope I've been able to convince you of that by now, you're going to need these next 2 steps. 4, find meaning by doing hard things that matter. The only thing worth pursuing in the long run is fulfillment. Fulfillment is the one neurochemical state that will survive even grief.
Am I fucking dropped again? God damn it. Hello? Hello? Are we here? Hello? Will you come on my show? Yeah, I think we're good.
To synthesize and edit our DNA en masse, what ultimately dictates the quality of a human life is how you feel about yourself when you're by yourself. Don't lose sight of that. 5, fall in love and raise a family. This may feel like it's out of left field for a video about navigating a world that is changing so rapidly, most people will be paralyzed by overwhelm. But here's the truth. We need meaning and purpose. We need to love and be loved. We need to do hard things. And while I cannot speak from experience, I can see from an evolutionary perspective that having kids is what nature wants us to do. There are built-in algorithms running in your brain that will reward you for having and raising kids. And I can't think of any better default way to have deep meaning and purpose than to raise children well. There are no universals in life, but I think you deviate from that path at your own risk. I don't have kids, so I know you can do that well, but it requires some extra planning if you want to make sure your life has meaning. No matter what happens with AI, love and family will be constants, at least until humans become fully synthetic, but that's a whole nother video. Ultimately, your life should be full of joy. And while I expect that AI is going to knock a lot of people down, and I think a great many people are going to have a very tough time adapting, the reality is that how we respond to this radical change is going to be up to us. Some people will get fully augmented and travel to Mars. Others will move to a farm off the grid and reject technology completely. That much we all get to choose. Let me leave you with this. AI is rewriting our world faster, vaster, and more brutally than any revolution in human history. There has never been anything like it. Not the printing press, or gunpowder, electricity, or even atomic energy. But history shows over and over that disruption carves paths to progress, but only for those who move. The US and China's AI arms race guarantees that this train will not stop. Many will be paralyzed by overwhelm, others will die in mouse utopia, but we all have a choice. And if I were to suggest one, it would be to push for sensible regulation, choose the hard path of meaning and purpose, and master the tools while that still matters. Whether it's 2 years or 20 years away, don't just stand there on the beach and let the tsunami take you. Have the courage to take on whatever comes next and push yourself to the limit. Remember, the future isn't some far off thing, it's happening right now, and it's moving a lot faster than you think. All right, guys, if you want to see me explore ideas like this live in real time, make sure that you're joining me for my lives on my channel at 6 a.m. Pacific time. I'll see you there. Take care. If you like this conversation, check out this episode to learn more. True story. 6 men.
Good Lord. That's ominous, man. I'm into it. I'm really into it. Oscar Electric. That is incredibly heartwarming. It's incredibly heartwarming. And thank you so much, Balls. Mr. Deep, as it were, if you will.
Well, then I suck Kirk Cousins' dick. I mean, my God.
It's not the one I wanted. I can't find the one I wanted. Where are you? Oh, here it is.
I fingered my own asshole last night, and I kind of liked it.
There it is. Oh, my goodness. Quack indeed. Where's that quack at? Where's my... there's my quack. Quack is whack. Turns out. What's up, Takezo Shinman?
Get on that, balls.
Shout out Stevie Lou. Everybody's favorite motherfucker. All right, let's do some Terror Teds. I'm actually going to go make some coffee because I want some real bad. But I'll have my phone. I'll be lurking in the chat. Don't start nothing funny. You know what I mean? Or do. That'd be dope.
Yo, what's good? We're back with another one.
It's showtime.
What are ley lines? A ley line is a straight fault line in the Earth's tectonic plates. This is a scientific fact. Through these cracks in the Earth's tectonic plates, the magnetic energies released are very powerful indeed. Many people have claimed to have felt the urge surge up their body, and some have claimed that they have blacked out, as the surge was that powerful. How long have human beings known about ley lines? Our ancestors have known about these ley lines for thousands of years. Every race and culture on this planet has known about these lines, yet everyone had different names for these lines. All we need to do is look at the ancient cultures of Earth. Take the native Indians of the United States. They used to call ley lines spirit lines, and their shamans used to use the electromagnetic energy in these lines to help them contact the spirits. They even designed their medicine wheel on the spirit lines, as they knew these lines followed a straight round line. How did they know about these lines and energies that they give off? The answer is simple. The sky gods told them. In Europe, we were led to believe that the Druids called them mystical lines. In Wales, they use the same name in Eastern countries. They call them dragon lines. We know that Eastern countries call them dragon lines, as the sky gods flew in dragons along these lines. The Aboriginal people of Australia call these lines dream lines, and once again they claim that this knowledge was passed on to them from the sky gods.
Didn't know they call them dragon lines in Wales.
Yeah, bro. They've got a dragon on their flag.
Around planet Earth, there is an extremely potent geomagnetic grid that can be used to harness the boundless telluric electricity from the atmosphere and from below the surface of the ground. Going back to as early as the Stone Age, the Neolithic tribes were fully aware of these locations and potency of them. This is why such massive stone circles were built. With such geomagnetic capacitors, tribes could harness the telluric electricity. But during the last 75 years, these precious sites seem to have been forgotten or become disused. They have become inverted to the spiritual use of these electrical potent landscapes.
I think it's just a coincidence that some of these places line up.
Come on, bro. How'd you explain the St. Michael's line?
What if we were to tell you that from Israel to Ireland, a line exists that marks monasteries and other places of worship dedicated to the Archangel Michael? What if we were to tell you that this represents a straight line, the path of the ancient sun? Wait till you hear this. What else to mark out landmark structures in a straight line right across Europe, the Middle East? A celestial object once took this path, and for that reason, Earthlings living in that path would erect these structures in such a way that it came directly in the path of worship. But St. Michael is the assimilated figure of the god Mirtha, and in the Zoroastrian faith, it was Mirtha whom was like the god Ahura Mazda. And Mirtha, or St. Michael as he was known as in the Christian tradition, appeared next to the Taurus field. He is one of the two whom flank the great figure in the sky.
That is weird, but loads of places are named after St. Michael.
It's not a coincidence, bro.
Throughout history, all the megalithic structures have been strategically built on top of these so-called lines, from the pyramids of Giza to Stonehenge, Notre Dame, Solomon's Temple, Parthenon, Oracle of Delphi, René Le Chateau, Ziggurat, the Vatican, DC Capitol, Mecca, Hagia Sophia, Aztec Pyramids, Bermuda Triangle, Coral Castle, Tesla's lab in Shoreham, New York, including all nuclear power plants, military bases, and stadiums, which are also used to harness
Well, I'm
energy
gay and I
and
really
giant
like cum in
batteries.
my mouth.
All of them are on ley lines.
Yeah, bro, it can't just be a coincidence.
The Da Vinci Code was based on René's Le Chateau in France, which is also on a ley line. It is documented that Alexander the Great was guided by Aristotle to take control of the major dome centers of these intersecting ley lines from dark forces, which is why he put his top general, Ptolemy, to rule Egypt. Interestingly, Cleopatra, the last pharaoh, alongside with both her husbands, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony of Rome, were defeated by the Romans, where they eventually destroyed the biggest library in Alexandria, Egypt, before taking all the knowledge with them, sending us into the Dark Ages. During the medieval times, anyone who had any knowledge of hermetics was designated a heretic and died a horrible death. This held true for whoever knew how to read or write, a heresy, leaving only the royals and the monasteries literate.
It's sad to think how much of human history has been wiped out.
It was the Illuminati, bro.
It was on the 30th of June 1921 the famous Englishman who was a member of the Royal Photographic Society of Great Britain made a remarkable discovery. Because Alfred Watkins had become a self-taught archaeologist, he noticed that sites from the Neolithic age in the United Kingdom all fell into an exact alignment. Both man-made and natural-looking monuments could be connected by exactly straight pathways. Alfred Watkins described these routes as ley lines and opened up the electromagnetic parameters of supernatural and spiritual beliefs. Alfred Watkins wrote 3 very important books which he confirmed that geomagnetic ley lines resonate in exact alignments across the United Kingdom of Great Britain. In the book, The Old Straight Track, its mounds, beacons, moats, sites and markstones, Alfred Watkins argued that geomagnetic ley lines represented trading routes of the antediluvian period and the Neolithic age, which the communities of the British Isles regularly used. The straight lines allowed the Neolithic tribes and Celtic Britons to travel from a single location to another as quickly as possible.
It's an interesting theory.
They weren't just trade routes, bro.
William Stukeley was back in the 1700s and he worked around Stonehenge and Avebury, so he discovered the whole kind of mechanics to Stonehenge and Avebury. And obviously Watkins had looked at his work and taken some of his work. Stukeley noted how many Roman roads, which, if you know about the Roman history, it's pretty dark when the Romans entered Britain, how they just destructed.
Only thing I know about the Roman roads is that's how we were taught to bring people to Jesus Christ. That's what we did. Have you read the Romans Road? I couldn't even tell you what it is now. But I would give pamphlets away that had the Romans Road on it and ask people if they wanted to, be one with the Lord.
Did all these kind of energetic points, but Stukeley noted that how many Roman roads were constructed along these ancient ley lines. So all these ancient ley lines were all mapped out. In recent years, you had obviously Jean-Michel, who wrote the amazing book The View Over Atlantis, but he was an author, an esotericist, and he made a huge amount of contributions to the whole kind of Earth mystery idea. But the ley lines are very important for our well-being, and they're very important that when we go along these lines, as I said before, we reactivate information, we find information and knowledge, and remember what's bringing up to present day is all the distortions and inversions have led from this point, because the history we've been taught is only half-truths. It's not the real full truth of what we are. And this is important that we remember it and understand that we can remember this information. By remembering, we will reactivate certain energies in our body.
Does seem like they knew something we don't.
They knew how to get free energy, bro.
The spiritual development of the Celtic Britons was entirely linked with sites like Stonehenge and Avebury Circle. Other essential sites were the Rollright Stones in Oxfordshire, Michel's Fold in southwestern Shropshire, and Castlerigg Stone Circle that is located nearby to Keswick in west central Cumbria.
I don't know what it is about a circle of rocks, but it is so fucking satisfying. So satisfying. Do any of you live where mushrooms grow? Like in your yard? You ever kick over just a yard mushroom? And then after a while, you just have like a fairy ring of mushrooms in your yard? It's outstanding. Go sit in the middle of that and tell me you don't feel some sort of way. You know what I mean? I love circles. Circles are some of my favorite shapes, man. Spheres, that's a cool shape. But circles, there's something about them. There's something about sitting in the middle of a circular anything. A circular group of people. That's weird. Hell, sitting in the circle is weird. It makes you feel some sort of way. Way better than squares? I agree. I agree that circles are... I don't want to say one's better than the other one, because that's rude. That's mean. However, a circle goes on forever, dude. It goes on forever. There's no end. There's no edge. You're either in it or you're out, you know? I like that. I love a circle. Something about a circle fucking gets my dick hard, dude. Turgid.
Each of the Irish and British Druids were fully aware of how subterranean waterways flow beneath the ley lines, and the telluric currents were always potent in Pacific expanses of the Sceptrid Isle that was once called Albion, then Britain.
Yeah, I agree with that. Listen, I agree with that. Have you ever heard of an infinity tank? I think that's what they're called. Or endless bounty. They're called endless bounty tanks. And instead of a fucking rectagonal shape or any kind of square shape, it's round. And the fish can swim in a consistent, they don't have to stop and turn around. And they get like 60% bigger. You know what I mean?
Perhaps it was the case that this kind of advanced technology came from the civilization of the Atlantean continent and the Atlantean Islands, and was covertly brought into the British Isles during the antediluvian period, or the Upper Paleolithic, where the usage of this technology was studied.
This is starting to sound like a fairy tale.
Nah, bro. The proof's in the stones they used.
Why did our ancestors choose specific types of stones for these structures? The answer may lie in the rocks themselves. Many megaliths are rich in quartz and magnetite, materials known for their unique electromagnetic properties. These stones can generate electricity when subjected to pressure or vibrations, a phenomenon known as the piezoelectric effect. Even more intriguing is the fact that many megalithic sites feature stones that were quarried from sites many miles away, indicating that the ancient megalithic builders went to great lengths to obtain precisely the right kind of stones for their structures. Picture a megalith as a giant natural battery, constantly charging and discharging in rhythm with the Earth's energetic pulse. This image isn't far from the findings of Pierre Moreau, a 19th century electrical engineer who studied the megalithic sites at Carnac in France.
Why else would they move those stones so far, bro?
Fucked if I know.
Carnac, a case study in stone power. Marous's work at Carnac revealed some startling insights. Despite being a skeptic who did not ascribe to the New Age spiritual philosophies popular in his day, Marous's scientific investigations led to unexpected conclusions. He analyzed the voltage and magnetic variations of the megalithic stones at Carnac and found them to be associated with electrical induction.
Girl, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Thank you so much, dude. Michaela with $100 fucking dono on Venmo. Get the fuck out of town. Ew. Boom. Thank you so much, Michaela. I don't know what the deal is. My shit's retarded right now, Michaela. Retarded. I got numbers down here that tell me things I don't fucking know. CPU, don't know it. Don't know what it is. FPS, frames per second, I know that because of League of Legends. The KBS, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But they're all changing and they're all going up and down. And my KBS is like in the high 2000s. I don't know what it all means. I don't know what it means. I'm basically 10 years old. I'm basically 10. But thank you so much. Thanks for the candy money. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Maru's findings include the following. The stones emitted energy
this to the face
in
for you.
concentric circles like ripples in a pond. They seem to recharge approximately every 7 minutes, suggesting a cyclical energy pattern. Different structures serve different energetic purposes. Dolmens function like electrical coils, while stone circles behaved like electrical condensers. The stones produced a pulsing energetic field that carried both negative and positive charges. Moreau's readings of the stones were most powerful at dawn. The quartz found in these stones made them especially suitable for generating these varied currents. Interestingly, the ancient builders deliberately chose to quarry the quartz-containing stones at Karnak from a site 60 miles away. Could our ancestors have possessed a sophisticated grasp of electromagnetic phenomena that we're only now beginning to rediscover?
It's crazy we don't know why they stuck so many stones in the ground.
It could have been acupuncture, bro.
Earth acupuncture.
I got a question. Are there any... he might have covered this and I just might have not been paying attention because I'm famous for that. But is there a ley line? Is there any ley line that wraps 360 around the world and meets back at its original spot? That would be a very powerful ley line.
Healing the Planet. Freddie Silva, in his book Portals, Energetic Doorways to Mystical Experiences Between Worlds, proposes an intriguing theory that megalithic sites function as a form of earth acupuncture. Silva suggests that ancient structures were strategically positioned to amplify and direct the Earth's magnetic field, similar to how acupuncture needles balance the body's energy. Silva believes this ancient megalithic practice served as a kind of earth acupuncture that naturally amplified the local magnetic field.
You are going to have to be a little bit more specific, Astrobot. Florida is mostly coast. East, west, north, south. Where are we talking, buddy? Where are we talking?
In order to interface with the energies of earth and sky.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. The tip of Florida? That makes sense. That's where the cum comes out.
Theory suggests that our ancestors were not just building monuments, but creating a network of energetic hotspots across the landscape.
I'm telling you, bro.
Makes sense.
They had electricity.
But what were they doing with it?
The unique Great Circle at Stonehenge is also situated above several meandering fault lines which encircle the monument. The renowned English polymath and broadcaster called Paul
Mike?
Devereux points out that fault lines are intimately associated with earth lights, unknown luminescent balls of telluric electricity which for reasons unknown appear in close proximity to them. Paul Devereux is a co-founder and the managing editor of the academic publication Time and Mind, the Journal of Archaeology, Consciousness and Culture, and a research fellow with the International Consciousness Research Laboratories at Princeton University in the United States. Earthlights have been witnessed at Stonehenge on Salisbury Plain in southeastern Wiltshire, and if they closely followed the fault line route, the effect would have been spectacular, as the Earthlights would encircle Stonehenge. Perhaps this is why the megalithic sites were aligned upon them, as Earthlights were witnessed during these important ceremonies.
We gotta do an episode on Stonehenge, bro.
We've got to finish building Easter Island first.
Although we look at sites like Stonehenge and other stone circles as just rocks placed on the earth, these are highly advanced structures that were built to activate this earth energy. Although not discussed in the mainstream, it was the Albion giants that actually constructed Stonehenge and the Neolithic tribes. They were obsessed with subterranean electrical waterways and the harmonic surface patterning such waterways emitted. It is a well-known fact that subterranean waterways are an excellent conductor of telluric electricity. Humans were once fully aware of the subterranean waterways and intentionally built upon the geomagnetic nodes to create potent dimensional portals into the 4D holographic reality of the astral plane.
Yeah, you lost me a bit there, mate.
Trust me, bro. He's right.
Bible is the tool.
I love that. The Stonehenge is just the toes of the Easter Island heads. I love it. Isn't that like a thing though? Isn't Easter Island like it's like literal polar opposite? That is what it is. That is what it is. You fetishists.
Force field. Bide means two.
What's up, Carla? Stop. Carla's top? Or Carla stop? Or Carl A stop? I'll stop. I'll stop.
Ball is one of these. And there are two
Shame on
balls
me.
which create this three-dimensional world. The
It's good
toroidal
to see you.
field is a
Welcome in.
multi-dimensional energy pattern.
We're learning about ley lines. Ley lines and whatnot. We're into that sort of thing. We're into some woo-woo shit. You know, cherry pick what you want to believe. That's what we do.
It is a universal blueprint in which all energy and matter manifests. It's a donut-shaped configuration in which all the energy is in a continuous loop. This is not an atom. This is the real atom, an electromagnetic field. The universe is one field of energy, and your brain is decoding this energy into a reality that you can interact with. Whatever your mind and emotions project into the energy is what you create in your reality. Central axis is called a hyperboloid. This is where energy comes in and then out. This is the inhale and exhale of the universe, breathing day and night, life and death. That's why your nose is a hyperboloid. Yahweh is the inhale Yah and exhale is way, Yahweh. You can hear this if you breathe with your nostrils. Physical is phi cycle. Phi is a torus field. We live in a cycle of a torus field. And you have an anatomy because you are a giant atom, and the binary code 0 and 1 comes from the torus field.
We've got to find out who this guy's plug is.
Shut up, bro. He knows what he's talking about.
Hold up.
You are a giant atom, and the binary code 0 and 1 comes from the torus field.
We've got to find out who this guy's plug is.
Physical is phi cycle. Phi is a torus field. We live in a
Blah,
cycle
blah, blah,
of a
blah, blah.
torus field. And you have an anatomy because you are a giant atom, and the binary code.
What's that look like? That's definitely on purpose. That's a pussy. That's a pussy and a dick. There's the clip. If you guys need to know where it is, it's right here. That's where it is, guys. Right there.
0 and 1
Take notes.
comes from the torus field.
We've got to find out who this guy's plug is.
Shut up, bro. He knows what he's talking about.
Subterranean waterways that are excellent conductors of telluric electricity are found at Stonehenge, and a map was produced by the master dowser Guy Irwin Underwood. Wherever the subterranean waterways are located in the United Kingdom of Great Britain, there will be a piezoelectric current which then accumulates until the current becomes telluric electricity and forms a geomagnetic concentration. In such locations across Dorset, Wiltshire, Somerset and Gloucestershire, as with other areas in the United Kingdom, many kinds of earth lights then emerge and shimmer in the evening time or early hours of the morning. Guy Irwin Underwood made 207 visits to Stonehenge and produced 105 surveys of the earth energies, fault lines and water lines situated at this site.
Master Dowser? Is that the shit with the sticks?
Yeah, bro, it works.
2 of those rods.
Yes, okay.
With these 2 metal rods, using the medieval technique of dowsing, Ron tells me I should be able to detect the spiritual powers running around the stones.
I'm throwing you in at the deep end here. You've never done this before. So just walk forward, tune into this energy that's coming from the stones and ask for your rods. Just there, and there we go. Now, are you doing
I'm
that,
skeptical.
or has that done it by itself?
It's done it by itself.
There we are. Now that that's done, now just walk out slowly now, just to show that something is happening through your rods or through you.
Yeah, no, it's
through you.
This is extraordinary. I've discovered a new power that I didn't know I had. Is it a power or is it a sensitivity?
As far as I'm concerned, 80% of the population can do this.
Oh, and there's me thinking I'm special.
Now walk back out and watch them open up. As soon as you... So, the energy is there.
Yes.
There it is there.
Yeah. As a brother of the Presbyterian, I think this could be the work of the devil. I'm not sure.
That's what lots of people believe.
Yeah. So which way is the energy flowing today? It's so spooky. I don't know what to make of this.
Well, if that did seem quite genuine, but it's TV. Could have been in on it.
Nah, bro. Loads of skeptics have tried it.
There are so many people buying into this. YouTube videos, forums, Facebook groups. There's news articles, Countryfile, BBC, Countryfile, Telegraph, The Guardian. There all is clearly a market for this stuff, and people are just buying into it like nothing else.
I'm a bit sceptical about ley lines, especially. Not that they're not there, but I think a lot of it is wishful thinking. This church here is 11th century, probably Saxon foundations, before Saxon foundations, an ancient tribal settlement.
Okay, so Mark did his calibration, stuck them in the ground. Now you apparently don't have to do that. Now we went around the side of the church, I believe on the west side, and straight away Mark found, I don't know, let's call it a line, or he found a spot where the dowsing rods crossed. Now he went back and forth a couple of times, did it in different ways, and every single time.
Is the metal like free floating inside the handle? You know what I mean? Like, can you sit there and go like this and spin it? You know what I mean? Because if that's the case, I would be a little less skeptical. I've never held dowsing rods. I've seen people use sticks. It's on a little swivel. Okay. That makes sense. That makes a little bit more sense. What's up, Lunar Eclipse? Good morning. Good morning. Whoever told you we got something going on over here lied to you, dog. Lied. They're liars. Known liars.
The rods crossed. This is cool. I mean, so both of them basically faced, when you did it, every single rod you did faced in this broadly the same angle. So we went to the other side of the church on the east side to see if you could sort of make a line. And lo and behold, once again, it did cross. Almost dissected the church.
Of course it worked for the guy who always does it.
The other guy did it too, bro.
I know you're a skeptical bunch. You're thinking, well, Mark's kind of probably just like tweaking it with his hand or tweaking it with his... You're thinking like there's something going on, so I'm going to have a go in a minute, and we'll see what happens. So we tried to go over exactly the same spots as where Mark had had success, and I didn't have a great deal of success on the first one or two goes. Nothing happened at all. Yeah, they're both pulling that way.
Ah, you're pulling back towards the chancel, which is there, yeah? So that could be where it's flowing out.
Yeah, they want to do the right-hand side thing. They're not crossing.
What kind of metal is
they wanna
that?
do that?
What kind of metal? Also, what kind of metal is that? It looks kind of rusted. Is it steel? What is that?
So oh, right, okay.
Is it iron?
Good.
That's his.
Is it a magnet?
Look, that's not me. That's doing it there.
Right, okay, that looks about right.
Because I can't push it that way. I'm trying to push it towards you.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Told you, bro, it's legit.
Wrought iron?
Tesla
Okay.
knew it.
Was famed inventor Nikola Tesla aware of the unique alignments of the Egyptian pyramids and their connection to ley lines? Tesla's fascination with the pyramids, renowned for their precision and alignment with celestial bodies, suggests a potential association with these unseen pathways that link ancient sites worldwide. Could Tesla's admiration for the pyramids have been influenced by their location on powerful ley lines? Although there's no substantial evidence, Tesla seemed to either know or perhaps learned of this knowledge through a contact or ancient text. Following this intriguing theory, we delve into Tesla's work in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and Wardenclyffe, New York. Both these places, noteworthy for Tesla's revolutionary experiments, sit on ley lines. In Colorado Springs, Tesla focused his efforts on deciphering and manipulating electricity, the setting for his iconic laboratory. This location is positioned directly over a significant ley line. The story at Wardenclyffe, New York is familiar. This is the site where Tesla started his bold ambition to build a wireless transmission tower, which, however, never got fulfilled. Yet, just like Colorado Springs, Wardenclyffe is located on a ley line, further reinforcing a potential connection between Tesla and these connecting geographical alignments. This brings us to question, was Tesla's choice of these sites a mere coincidence, or had he more time been able to plug into these ley line connections how he intended? The mystery remains unsolved, but the questions themselves fuel our curiosity and magnify our respect for Tesla's genius.
It's crazy the only thing that stopped him was money.
It was JP Morgan, bro. He didn't want people to have free energy.
So how was the telluric energy getting pulled into the earth? Was it using copper, how was it getting pulled down? Was there mercury vortex engines on the top of them, for example? Or give us an example.
They were using different things like gold-plated metal rods or perhaps copper rods that were specifically placed in key locations where these geomagnetic ley lines were to create specific types of frequencies and vibrations that were highly beneficial to the actual growth of the crop. We know from looking at this.
Man, specifically, way to rip me right out of the fucking video, dude. Twice?
The city of Jukagir in the Zugzari region of northern Tataria, as with the cities of Dowry and Nika-Eklo in the Oensky region of southern Tataria, the same kind of electroculture farming practices were also used to create maximum yield in terms of the optimal growth of fruits and vegetables and cereal crop.
I think this is possible. They used electricity, but just different from us. There's no way they had our kind of technology.
Trust me, bro. They were way more advanced than us.
Where two or more ley lines intersect are marked with obelisks, such as Washington, D.C. Monument, Vatican Courtyard, and Cleopatra's Needle in Central Park. These electromagnetic lines of the Earth are its veins, and receive its energies from the Sun that connects and affects every living thing on this planet. We are electrical, and our atoms surrounded by electrons, electricity. Greg Braden explains it best by asking us, where does our heart get its electrical capacity from? We are connected to the Earth's electromagnetic fields, and our heart is our battery. Many of our ancient spiritual figures knew of this hidden knowledge, and meditated or prayed on these lines, or megalithic centers, which elevated their electrical auras, intellect, and connection to higher self through the activation of the 7 energy centers, chakras. Could this in fact be what the golden halos depicted on all spiritual figures throughout history represented?
I've always wondered why there's obelisks all over the world.
It's the Freemasons, bro. They put them everywhere.
There's an American war hero buried underneath a busy New York City intersection right in front of the Flatiron Building. This is the obelisk dedicated to General William Worth, who fought in the Mexican-American War and conquered all the way down to Mexico City. Yep, he's buried right underneath here. There's two other obelisks in New York City, right by St. Paul's in downtown Manhattan, that's dedicated to Thomas Addis Emmet, an advocate for Irish independence and also a New York State Attorney General. And then there's another obelisk right behind the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Cleopatra's Needle, which was erected in 1881 and imported over from Egypt. Take out a map and there's something even more strange. You draw a straight line from the obelisk at St. Paul's all the way to Cleopatra's Needle, and right in the middle, perfectly, is this obelisk. What's up with that? Cleopatra's Needle was installed by Freemasons. Thomas Addis Emmet, a Freemason, and General Worth, a Freemason. And 1 block away is the Freemason headquarters. Is it coincidence? Who knows?
We've got a load of them in London too.
Yeah, bro, the Freemasons built them.
You can see directly down here, there is an obelisk, and on beyond that is Kensington Palace. And then back here, this aligns to the pump house and the gardens that we've just seen. You can see how this ley energy is operating. You obviously got an obelisk along that alignment as well, which would have been something completely different in the old world. And straight up here, you've got an alignment right through. And obviously the oak was the sacred tree of the Druids, and still is a sacred tree. This land would go a lot further back, and we have to remember the Dark Ages is a very distorted timeline, which I do not think we will ever know the truth to what actually happened during this time. But an old world certainly left us, something so different to what we have today, probably so surreal, most would not be able to handle the piece.
There's a lot we don't know about the old world, bro. We'll have to save that for next time.
Hold up, Ted, we've got to do the giveaway.
Leave a comment for a chance to win in our next episode. Let's do this, bro.
Bang bang!
Blah blah.
Pick something from our website and we'll send it straight out.
That's TerraTedStars.com. Look how dope these guys look, bro.
Yeah, big thanks to everyone buying the merch and all our channel members.
The 100k plaques in the post, bro. We'll have it soon.
And as always, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.
Good shit. What's up, Gathan? Morning.
I've come to talk with you again.
We just got through with the Terror Teds about ley lines. It was good shit. It was so good. All right, what else we got here? Girls and boys. Andrew Wilson humbles the chopped men academic girl in 10 seconds. You guys want to watch some stupid bitches get fucking skewed by a based fucking king? You guys want to see it? I do.
So as we're all very much aware, we are living through a chopped man epidemic, and there's a big shortage of baddies. It's gone so bad to the point that, like, if I see an attractive man, it genuinely makes my day. I was walking on the sidewalk earlier, and I saw a cute guy in his car, so I waved to him, and he smiled back at me. And obviously he drove away after that, but I was like, oh my God, a cute guy? This was at 6:50 p.m. It's 7:17, and I'm still like, oh my God. And I feel like this is gonna empower me through my evening. Like, wow, I actually saw an attractive man today. Like, diamond in the rough, needle in the haystack.
You know what? As I age, I actually find myself being more attracted to men I wouldn't have generally found attractive in my youth. Is that a thing?
Seriously. So
all right, pause.
Well, I don't know. Understand what she means by, like, there's no attractive men in the world anymore. That's a lie.
All very much open.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, maybe in the audience, chopped means ugly. So when she's saying there's essentially when she says a chopped man epidemic, she's saying there's an ugly man epidemic. Do you guys, just curious, do you guys agree?
I disagree.
I feel like
and just one final addition to this. I've heard a lot of criticisms from women that they think there's way more physically attractive women.
You know what, Astro? He says men look for pretty, not women. Not anymore. And I really think it's because women think they can be men now. You know what I mean? We've watched enough of this bullshit to know that these women are like, I can, work on an oil rig. So what has happened in their quest for equality? They have embodied all the worst qualities of men and now are projecting that back on men, which is fucked up and wrong and very passive aggressive and a very chick thing to do.
Then there are men. You'll see pretty women all the time, but then you'll rarely see, this is what I've heard a lot of women say, you'll rarely see good looking or attractive guys. So why don't we, we'll start with you since you wanted to go first.
I feel like I disagree. I feel like there's women, not that this is the difference, but a woman can get ready and do all this stuff. I feel like for guys there's not really much that they can do to enhance anything. So I feel like to say that it's not really fair because that's just naturally what they look like and stuff. But I feel like there's a lot of attractive men. I feel like there's been more attractive men than there's been I feel like more because not because of Instagram specifically, but there's more attractive men than there was before, because actually people are starting to care about what they look like and stuff,
Oh, holy Master Meatball.
Then, people didn't really care about looks at all, as for what I know of. But
I've got an idea. I think that girls can get boob jobs, lip filler, hair extensions, and I think obviously men can get Botox and stuff as well, but it's not as commonly done as women. So there's probably going to be more aesthetically pleasing women than men for that reason, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's
Master Meatball says the bigger the wallet, the more the attraction, right, ladies? At whatever. Have you met Granny?
we can there's more things that we can do.
We can improve ourselves. We've got makeup,
hair, extensions, makeup.
Yeah, we can trick people into thinking we're pretty when we're not.
He's poor.
And men can't really do that.
I think it's also regional. So for example, I've been in LA for I think 2 days, and honestly I haven't seen one guy that I'm like, oh, he's really attractive. I think it's also just my type. Back home in Florida, it's full of cowboys and actually manly men, guys with not even muscle, but just some fat on them. Every man that I've seen here is very feminized or just gay, and I don't know, just not really, I don't know, maybe it's just LA, but I think it's regional. If you stick in LA, you're not going to see a lot of men.
Not as masculine than men.
Yeah, I agree. In California, there isn't really that many. Well, not Cali altogether, but LA specifically, there is more feminine men. That's for sure, because it's more a fashion state. I feel like it's a lot more fashion stuff like that. So they kind of tend to be a little bit more of pretty boys. But
no, I'm telling country bars back home, you walk in and it's
in Texas.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Texas,
I
see some sexy guys.
We experienced that when we went to Texas. We're whoa.
Yeah. It is a whole different ball game, that's for sure.
LA is.
That whole fucking interaction was very telling. When I go to Texas and see a real man.
Green juice, Texas's steak.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Yeah. So, I totally agree with you. It's regional.
Word. Sorry, one sec, guys. I wanted to actually pull it back up because the comments were kind of interesting. All right. Oh, I wanted to ask the panel, going around the table.
What's up, Evil Jesus?
So
Morning.
she's saying she doesn't see attractive men, chopped man epidemic.
Can we also just point out that chick is fucking ugly? Can I just point out real quick that that's a fucking hideous woman who's saying this? Just an objectively fucking ugly woman.
What's up, cheese ball connoisseur? And when we're talking cheese balls, are we talking like the crunchy snack that you get in the barrel? Or are we talking about like a delicacy that you put out for a charcuterie board? What kind of cheese ball are we talking here? This is important. The crunchy snack, not the charcuterie board. All right. All right. Either was fine, really. This was a test, and you passed. Even if you would have said the other one, you would have passed. I would have just known your level of fanciness.
Woman, I just say.
We're watching some dumb sluts. That's what we're doing. We're watching some stupid fucking sluts be stupid. We do that here sometimes. You know, a jury of our peers and whatnot. We stupid sluts get to judge those stupid sluts. Let's do it. What's up, Andrew? Good morning. Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
Oh my God,
I was going
Andrew.
to say that in a more polite way, but basically, yeah.
It
So,
looks like she's been picking her face off for the last 2 years, man. I don't know what the hell is
So,
wrong with her.
I did
but
wanna
she's a
get-
foul, hideous-looking woman.
Oh my
I
He said no.
I was about to ask though the panel. Do you guys like? Do you think she's beautiful?
He's like, I'm not
Attractive?
sugarcoating nothing.
I don't think that she's a stunning 10 out of 10, but I don't think she's really,
Oh my
really
God.
ugly.
I don't think she's ugly.
I don't think she's ugly, but I.
Bullshit. Hang on, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. Pull it back up.
I think average looking, average.
Hang on. Oh, come on. Look at
Okay,
it.
baby, wait, show me the video again. Show me again.
Oh, she was so.
Pull it up. But then just play the video. Just go ahead and play it.
So as we're all very much aware,
Oh my God, this chick's face is busted.
That's so fucked up.
You know it's true. Am
Oh
I
my God.
lying though? Am I lying or is that chick's face busted as fuck?
I feel like she doesn't really have a place to be really like talking about specifics.
Yeah,
but I feel like, you know, beauty isn't always about how you look. Beauty is not always about how you look. It's about your personality. But I guess the way she's acting is.
Let's pull it back up though really quick. I wanted to read some of the comments on this.
So as we're
All right, scroll down. Damn, seems like you've upset the chopped men. 17,000 likes. They're mad at you because you're right. Danny, Kyra, ignore the positive. Scroll down. Scroll down.
All this man
Scroll
hate has
down.
to stop.
All this man-on-man
Scroll-
hate
keep
has
going,
to
keep
stop.
going.
That's hilarious.
Down, down, down. There's some interesting photos. Scroll down. Scroll down.
No one's saying
going.
that she's average.
Scroll down. Scroll down.
Come on, this
scroll
chick
down.
is a two-bagger, at least.
Scroll down.
What's a
Idiot.
two-bagger?
There-
Does
there
that
were
mean when you
photos
put it
this. I'm
on
trying to
some-
find it. Keep going.
Yeah, you gotta
keep
put
going.
the bag over their head.
No, Andrew,
You know what a
no.
two-bagger is. Come on.
There were, people were posting like a bunch of funny
No
photos.
one's saying
but maybe she
anything
did. Oh,
mean.
she
Thank you, Lemmy.
deleted it.
This
Keep
cock
going,
shots
just
for
keep
you.
going. Maybe it'll pop up.
Thank you, Ashy Lemmy. Gifting a sub to Crack Babies. Oh, Crack Babies. Godspeed wherever you are, buddy. I hope you're doing it to it.
Damn, she did us dirty because they were all kinds of funny photos on like photo comments.
Thank you, Ashy Lemmy.
That must have been very time consuming for her
might be.
to.
It might be. Maybe it was just on mobile that people were like making all these funny edits. Yeah.
Who does she think she is speaking about men like that when she's
I think she
got
has
that
more videos like
face?
that on her channel.
Is that like her like brand? Like she's like trying to like.
Maybe
do?
she's
I don't
doing
know.
it for what's it called, to trigger people so that she gets more
Oh,
views.
totally, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm sure that that's exactly what she thought. She was like,
Yeah, yeah,
"What
yeah.
can me, a hideous wildebeest, do to trigger as many men as I possibly can? Me, a busted ass, looking, well below average, hideous woman. What can I do to trigger as many men as possible?" And so that's what she did.
You're right.
Thank you, Lemmy.
There's a lot. There's a
this
lot
cock
of
shots for
people
you.
coming to her.
Thank you, Astro, for gifting a sub to Ashy Lemmy. I love it. Thank you so much. Some of these. This is Whatever Podcast, Andrew. It's pretty popular. It's a bunch of dumb sluts. I'm including Brian in that. This fella right here, the guy who like runs the podcast. This fella, He's a dumb slut too. He's a fucking dumb slut. I love him so much. He's so emotional. It cracks me up. And whenever there's tech issues, you see him get like instantly frazzled, and it's fucking hilarious. He's got a temper. It's great. He's so emo, and I love it. You dumb slut.
Defense, though. In fact, maybe we'll pull up my Twitter.
Also, hideous wildebeest.
TikTok is kind of like an echo chamber.
Oh, TikTok is the most. It's terrible.
Andrew's really funny. Yeah, I find Facebook the worst.
Do you have my Twitter?
No. TikTok is the worst. You know why? You know why TikTok's the worst?
Why?
Because most of the user base, it's like 60 or 70%.
Okay.
I think it's 70+% actually, is women. And so when you're on TikTok, especially when you're on the lives, you're in the mind of a woman.
Yeah.
And so it's just absolute carnage and chaos and fucking madness and stupidity all the time.
You know who else makes up a really quite a chunk of change of the majority on TikTok? Children. So there's that.
That's why. That's why TikTok is fucking horrible. Horrible.
I had no idea that it was mostly women.
Oh, yeah.
It makes so much sense.
Overwhelmingly.
That's why that. Well, I mean, obviously the comments were deleted, but it makes sense because
Well, that's why
guys
when
would be
Trump
like
was
saying
like-
what you're saying, right?
Yeah, that's why when they were like, they're going to delete TikTok, I was like, no, they're not going to delete TikTok. There'll be 200,000 dumbass women tomorrow with signs who'll be like, don't delete my TikTok. Oh my God.
Yeah, that would be me. And before that,
And guess what? I was 100% right. Hundreds of thousands of whiny ass women who were like, no, we have to have the Chinese invade us and fucking take over our social media because otherwise I can't post fish lip selfies with my busted fucking face. That's literally what happened.
and before that, they had like Musical.ly, they had Vine, like they were gonna make another one too. Like it was gonna there was Musical.ly, Vine, and then there was TikTok. So like they were gonna make another one no matter what. Like
All right,
they
let's
weren't
pull
gonna
up-
just
pull up my Twitter.
let it-
No, did you send the link? Oh, okay, yeah, scroll down. All right, scroll down. I'm going to tell you there were two girls. We're only going to watch part of it. Wait, stop there. The one with the nose ring.
Oh my God, who's that? Oh God, why do you do that?
Click it.
Gross, dude.
Pause.
Terrible.
All right, video tab.
I don't know why you guys you guys are coping so hard.
All right.
Just take one look, you see the same thing I see.
Go ahead, play it.
This thing about the war going on against the chopped man epidemic girl is that she's actually quite beautiful. Hello? She's actually quite beautiful. Like, actually, dare I say, more than conventionally attractive. But you guys are brain rotted.
Okay,
you
pause
are
it.
great.
And then X out of that.
What?
That's good to see.
And then go to the other video. Go to the other video, the one with the yellow shirt.
I'm in.
You have it? Okay. Video tab.
Oh, Lord.
Play it.
The war on the side of the chop man epidemic girl. She's right. Y'all are ugly. You don't put effort into your appearances. You don't have hobbies, and you expect women to want you. And you're gonna screenshot pictures of me and her while she's talking in an effort to make her feel ugly, when in reality, you would cry of happiness if me or her or any of the women in her comment section touched you with a 10-foot pole. Why? Because you're a virgin.
Pause. Just pause it.
Wow. This isn't real.
That's a little creepy.
This is clickbait.
But she's not either.
I know what this phenomenon is called. What happens is, when one ugly chick sees another ugly chick, they instantly compare. And the one ugly chick's like, I'm hotter than her. So if I'm friends with her and I'm out hanging out with her, I'll look pretty in comparison to this ugly broad. And so I actually see this happen all the time. That's why you see cliques of really pretty women together, and then you see cliques of really fucking ugly women together, where they're all like fat and they're hideous and shit like that. So it's literally, look, I'm sorry, but all the time, this is what I see. Cliques of really good looking chicks, and then cliques of really fucking ugly chicks. That's what I see all the time.
Based King. Go off, Based King. Go off. That's why I don't hang out with anybody. I'm the prettiest person in my friend group because I ain't got no friends. That's how you live life. Straight up. You want my advice? You want my advice? That's not even true, dude. Granny's adorable. And my kids, adorable. I might actually be the ugliest of the crew. Oh shit. I gotta stop thinking about stuff. Annie DeFranco had a line in 32 Flavors. Everyone has a secret hatred for the prettiest girl in the room. That's true, man. That's when I double down on the opposite of it. You know what I mean? When I can feel myself hating a pretty bitch, I'll be like, all right, you hate her because she's pretty. Just knock your shit off. Knock it off. She's probably a lovely human being. Why don't you go talk to her? She might be funny, you know? It's called getting over it. It's called getting over yourself. Fucking pretty bitch. She might be cool. Just live happy, smoke a fatty. If you say so. If you say so. Oh, yes, Gathan, absolutely. He says, I was talking to my cousin this weekend and her son is going to a Texas Christian university in the fall. Did you know it's like 85 grand a year? Oh, yeah. Like I've mentioned before, I went to a Christian high school and a lot of my peers ended up going to like Christian colleges that cost a fucking fortune. They're private. That shit's wild. I kind of wanted to go, if I'm being honest. I was always extremely fascinated with religion. Atheist? Yeah, you spelled that correctly. You're an atheist? How do you know? How do you know there's nothing? Just because the Christian Judeo God sounds a little too unbelievable to be true, because it is, doesn't mean there's nothing. It's just as unlikely that there was nothing, that there's nothing. You know what I mean? It's just as unbelievable to me. So I landed on, I don't know, and that's where I'm sticking. That's where I'm staying. It's a nice, comfy, green hill to die on. I'm not ashamed to say it. I don't know. I'm not ashamed to say it. That's right. Why not? We'll never know until we're dead. Deader than hell. Number to ancient archaeology proves different? I don't know. What does that even mean? All right, that's fair. The James Webb Telescope. You know that they made a new one, a more powerful one? It's just like a bunch of numbers, like JDLP or some shit like that. I mean, ain't this hell now? No. Hell no, this ain't hell. Hell no. There's too much good shit here. There's too much awesome, beautiful shit here for this to be hell. For sure. There's too much love. There's too much connectivity for this to be hell. It might not be fucking fantastic, but that's relative. Unless you're like locked in your house and being forced to comply, you can change the shit about your life that makes you not feel so good. What are you doing with your day? Let me ask you that. What are you doing with your day? Are you doing the same thing you've done for the last couple years? You stuck in a rut, bud? I am. It happens. That's when you just get up and do something different, man. Just do what your brain tells you to do sometimes. Stop trying to buck the system. Stop trying to rebel against yourself. Stop standing in your own way. Don't swim against the current of life. Exactly. And don't stay stagnant either, man. Don't stay stagnant either. Keep some air in your lungs and float. Float along. Working and raising my kid. Shit, I'm going on a work trip to PA. Everything is okay. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I hear there are some beautiful woods in Pennsylvania with like prime mushroom picking. That's why I keep getting thrown out of churches. That, and I say they should only be studying Jesus, not Paul. I don't know. I don't think it's up to anybody to tell anybody what they should be studying. I got a lot of that in like high school because I've always been really, really interested in demonology. And my teachers were all like, you really shouldn't be fucking around with that. You can become possessed. It's like, I'm not. I'm just reading books and being curious. Calm your tits, lady. Everybody just calm down. Funny how the church knows so much about hell and nothing about heaven. That's not true either. That's not true. I don't know what fucking church you're going to, but some idiot's running it. There's lots of stuff about heaven in the Bible. If that's what you're basing it off of. If you're saying comparatively, here's the thing. This is what I've noticed. There is so much talk about heaven. There is so much talk about hell. However, there are different like sects of Christianity that are obsessed with different things. Baptists fucking love their fire and brimstone. Love that shit. They rule with fear. Fear. Then Catholics. You know what I mean? And it is successful. That's the thing about it. It's successful. Fear, I mean. Imposing fear. Especially on the little ones. Astrobot says, I was raised Catholic and they love fear. Yeah, love it. It's powerful. My soul eats demons for breakfast. I'm like a roach motel for lesser imps. I love it. My school loved hell. They loved trying to scare us with the fire and brimstone stuff, for sure. Don't you come near me with a donation dish. If God wants 10% of my shit, he can come get it himself. I don't trust humans. They are not to be trusted. I was scared into being good starting in July or Santa would not come. Ah yes, the Catholic symbol, Santa Claus. Saint Santa Claus, or Saint Nicholas. I'm an idiot. I'm fucking retarded. Heaven, pearly gates, harps, I thought it said herpes. Hell, demons and devils and torture and suffering and fire and brimstone and different levels of hell with their own ruling archdemons. I mean, that sounds like a party, dude. That's what's up. You forgot the fucking gnashing of teeth. You forgot that. You forgot the endless screaming and gnashing of teeth. And the gnats. You forgot them too. Hell sounds awesome. Don't let me forget my fly swatter. And my Chinese fan. Don't let me forget to bring this to hell. I'm gonna need it. And you're gonna want to borrow it, so don't let me forget. Why not? I was raised kind of like that with my dad. I would ask, like, you know, I would find like one of those little tiny New Testament Bible dealios. And I remember asking my dad, like, who's God? What's God? What's heaven? What is that? For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. What does this mean? And I remember him looking me dead in my face and said, if you're a good person, you'll go to heaven. Don't worry about any of the rest. Don't worry about it. And I was like, that is not the answer I wanted. I'm curious. I'm asking you questions. You know what I mean? I need answers. I need you to maybe point me in the direction of somebody who might know these answers. And that didn't happen. But then I moved in with my mom, and I went to a Southern Baptist fundamentalist high school. And I learned a lot. And I'm still learning. It's given me a lifelong trauma. You gotta love that. Gotta love religious trauma. I embrace it. I embrace it at this point. It's who I am. B, it's given me a lifelong curiosity for the beyond, dude. I'll forever be grateful for that. Just because I don't necessarily or inherently believe the shit that they taught me to be truth, it still planted a seed of like spirituality in me and a curiosity for that, and like space. I've always loved space. Is there some dude up there? You know, I'm curious. I've heard so much about this God feller. Astrobot says I was saddled with religious trauma too, but I've shed most of it, I think. I think I've shed about most of it. There are some things that will never leave. You know what I mean? You'll never see me in a bikini for $50. That's never gonna happen. You know what I mean? You're not gonna see me in a pair of shorty shorts. $100? I mean, listen, are we having this conversation? No, I'm just kidding. Should we make our lives on the planet Earth extremely happy before we worry about heaven? Just asking. I think we just make it what it is. I feel like if you strive for happiness all the time, you're going to be disappointed a lot of the time. I feel like you earn happiness. You got to earn that shit. Nothing is free. And that includes your happiness. I strive for neutral, dog. I strive for straight up neutral. That way I'm not like super disappointed if it's a little below neutral. You know? It is what it is. And anything above neutral is a fucking blessing, and I'm grateful. That's how I like to live my life. That straight up comes from my hope being just slaughtered throughout the years. You know, I have lowered my expectations for everybody and myself, which is good. It's a good thing. I mean, reach for the stars or whatever the fuck, but like be realistic also. I had an issue with that. I reached for the stars and nothing else around me for a long time. That kind of fucked me up. I lived with my head in the clouds for a long time. That's no way to live. That's an escape. That's escapism. And that's not healthy. Not when your physical body is here. It's hot out here. Oh yeah, we got Big Tug. I forgot about you, bud. Let's watch him. Let's watch this hilarious
How many times can a
nerd.
person get tugged? Well, we have found the limit at extratug.com, where you can see exclusive content that I say dirty things in. Go check it out. A long time ago, a woman at a state fair who was doing fortune telling told me that I was going to die of heart disease, which is a pretty easy guess to make. I think most Americans die like that, but it would be very funny if I died during the recording of this video while I'm talking about energy drinks. If that happens, I don't know, tell people about me. So caffeine is one drug that we can all agree on, right? We're all cool here, right? 90% of Americans have some form of caffeine every single day, whether that be a cup of coffee or a caffeine pill or a cup of coffee, but instead this time it's going up your butt. For most of the 20th century, actually, coffee was our go-to jittery juice. When I think of someone sipping on a hot cup of joe, I usually think about like long-haul truckers, exhausted educators talking shit about their students in the teacher's lounge, and NASA scientists in short-sleeve shirts and long ties and glasses, smoking cigarettes and being racist and misogynist. I only know about NASA scientists from like period piece movies. But at the dawn of a new millennium, a new fatigue fighter entered that arena, and that fighter was brightly labeled, extremely advertised energy drinks. These drinks aren't something you sip at your cubicle while looking over some goddamn spreadsheets. These are the kind of drinks you crush on your forehead before you pick up your skateboard and you go out and you do some cool skateboard tricks with your hood rat friends. I don't know anything about skating, but that seems pretty par for the course. The Western world is always getting more extreme. Everyone wants the most of everything, which is why you can't find normal Tylenol anymore. Seriously, it's all extra strength, which is kind of ruining the whole point of extra strength. But that mentality is also present in our ever-churning need to want bigger and bolder delivery systems for caffeine. But just how insane will energy drinks get? Well, hopefully not as insane as their beginnings. Flashback. Chris, do a flashback at it, please. In 1886, Atlanta chemist Dr. John Pemberton was working on a tonic for heartburn and nausea. And this was the 1800s, so the answer to such an issue was, of course, a ton of sugar in a carbonated beverage. And while Mr. Pemberton was fiddling around with the formula, he accidentally stumbled his way into inventing Coca-Cola. Of course, this predates the term energy drink by about an entire century, but there was
What's up, Mr. TV's Will Heron? All up in here. Great article, by the way. Loved it. Very well written. Totally into it. And good morning, dude. We're learning about energy drinks from this fucking YouTube idiot. We love him. I love him. I can't really speak for everybody else. I love this guy.
no denying the energizing effects of this newfangled beverage. Listen, I'm not going to dwell on the fact that Coca-Cola originally had cocaine in it. Every toddler knows that fact, but it's worth mentioning. Originally, Coca-Cola contained cola nuts, which are jam-packed with caffeine, as well as coca leaves, which are cocaine. That's how you make cocaine. But at the time, like, people talk like it's a big deal. At the time, Coke was easy. You could get Coke. Cocaine was easy to get. It was a vitamin back then. Like, Sigmund Freud, everyone who walked into his office, he was just like, do cocaine. It'll make you feel better. Do cocaine. You could get yourself a steady supply by going down to, like, the local drugstore and just picking it up over the counter. No one was regulating this shit. But as the ill effects of the drug became better understood, regulation and eventually criminalization occurred because Uncle Sam is a f***ing narc. As early as 1903, Coca-Cola contained trace amounts of cocaine, and by 1929, Coca-Cola was fully cocaine-free. But I would love to try a Coca-Cola beverage between the years of 1903 and 1929 because I just like a little trace of that energizing buzz of cocaine. You know, just a little bit, just everything in moderation. But when God opens a door, he closes a window. I didn't say that right. Just after 1 year after Pemberton's hit of Coca-Cola, Lazar Adelano, I think that's how you pronounce it, a Romanian chemist, first synthesized amphetamines. You know, speed, that shit. And I didn't know the history of amphetamines, but if I had to guess someone were to invent it, it would be someone with this name, because that name is insane. It's getting late. I shouldn't be drinking this. But Lazar wasn't that interested in his discovery of getting people tweaking like a motherfucker, and the concept of amphetamines was shelved for nearly 40 years. But in 1932, amphetamines were suddenly cool all of a sudden, because this is when Benzedrine inhalers were introduced as a nasal decongestant. And this was coincidentally around the same time, cocaine was banned. So, you know, it seems like, I don't know, everyone's trying to get high all the time. Surely we'll get a grasp on that horrible concept at one point in human history, correct? So when you think of inhalers, you're thinking of a chubby little kid with asthma, but that's not what this is. These were practically just cotton swabs just dripping with amphetamine liquid. And I think it should come as no surprise that people liked them, people loved them. People loved their amphetamine cotton. Benzedrine inhalers were available over the counter without a prescription, so they were super easy to abuse. Not only that, but Benzedrine salts found their way into medications for, you know, depression and weight loss, and it's hard to be fat and sad when you're practically taking the jet drug from Fallout. It was even widely administered to American soldiers during World War II, because if you need a soldier to run fast and aim well, you give them crank. By the time the war was over, it was estimated that 16 million Americans have been exposed to Benzedrine pills. But this normalized Americans' obsession with, amphetamines, but also just getting a quick hit of energy throughout the day. And before we judge the old Americans for their amphetamine obsessions, how many of you are on Adderall right now? Ritalin, Vyvanse. Judge lest ye be judged, you speed addicts. Chris, if you could put up a statement on the screen right now, Tug supports all form of mental health medication and treatment. But don't put me saying that in there. Just put it on the screen. The amphetamine epidemic wasn't just a problem in America either. Japanese soldiers had been giving methamphetamines during the war, and the country faced its own post-war drug epidemic. In the 50s, the country passed a series of laws to curb drug use, and in the wake of these laws, the first modern energy drink was born. And I'm a little worried because I had to talk about a lot of drugs to get to the main focus of this video. I don't think YouTube likes that. Every time I do that, I get demonetized. So subscribe to Extra Tog, please. But now that we're talking about energy drinks, do you know what the first energy drink was called? Do you have any concept? You're probably thinking something sexy like Fast Horse or Blazing Sun or some shit. Well, no, actually, it was called Lipovitan D. Lipovitan D. That's actually not that fun. And it actually wasn't really a drink. It was more of like a tonic syrup thing than a soda. So it was like lean, but it had the opposite effect of lean. Lipovitan D was marketed to truck drivers and factory workers who pulled long shifts and needed a little extra something so that they wouldn't go the Hemingway. The main ingredient in this sweet, sweet syrup beverage is an amino acid called taurine, which, let me be honest, I love taurine. Oh my god. You probably can't zoom in far enough to see it, Chris, but it says taurine right here. If I'm looking at an energy drink in a store and it doesn't say taurine, I'm not buying it. This is like a miracle drug. Originally isolated from bull semen in 1827. What? What did that say? Taurine is now synthetically produced. Oh, okay. All right. Oh god, that was a close one. And some studies suggest it helps with athletic performance and overall energy. So bull nut or not, this works. And although other energy beverages have outpaced the original, you can still buy some Liptovan. The biggest bottle of Liptovitamin D contains up to 300 milligrams of taurine, along with a warning label stating that people
should have called it Blue Bull. But I'll see myself out.
should not consume more than 100 milligrams a day. But hey, if that's the case, why would you give me all of it at once? I'm a dumb American, I'm gonna drink that all right now. Moving forward, in 1976, a pharmacist called, I'm not even gonna try that one, created a new energy drink with caffeine, taurine, and B vitamins. He called it this, Krutendang, which loosely translates to Red Bull. That's right, this shit isn't European at all. It comes from Asia. F you, Max Verstappen, and your European mentality. We're pissing in the ground. The toilets are built into the ground in Asia. But this version is, it's not the exact same thing as modern Red Bull. It really, the original one didn't have any carbonation, so it was just like a flat drink. Oh my god. Over the next decade, the drink would spread across the continent, slowly becoming a fixture in Asia. And in 1984, an Australian marketing executive traveled to Bangkok and bought a bottle of Krutendang to fight his jet lag. And he was so impressed that he hit up the dudes whose name I couldn't pronounce and said, let's get in menu. We're getting into business right now. The white people would love this. They added some much needed carbonation along with a lot more sugar and caffeine, and then unleashed Red Bull into the European market in 1987. Doot 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 doot. Max Verstappen, doot 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 doot. I hope I'm matching the pace of the song. I can't remember the BPM. Also, I hate Max Verstappen, by the way. Don't get it twisted. If you're a Max fan and a Big Tug fan, you are just a Max fan. I don't want you here. Get the out of here. Dude cannot drive. Dude crumbles when he has pressure. I hate him. So while Red Bull was spreading its wings across Europe, America was spinning its wheels with variations of tried and true methed up soda formulas. In 1985, Jolt Cola was created with all the branding of a battery. But this was 1985. They really had no, for some reason they didn't know that sugar was killing them. They thought it was the fat in their food, and they kept making fat-free products that just made you shit yourself. But in terms of caffeine, Jolt definitely delivered. At 70 milligrams of caffeine per can, it contained twice as much caffeine as Coke or Pepsi. But even then, it fell short of how much caffeine was in just one cup of coffee, which is surprising. I didn't expect that. That didn't stop people from wanting it, however, because within a year it had already reached $1 million in sales. Due to its high caffeine contents and aggressive marketing to young consumers, Jolt was often at the center of controversy and faced criticism from health advocates. And to be honest, critics were right, because it seemed like, 12-year-olds were bringing 6 packs of Jolts to sleepovers like they were bringing a 6-pack of beer to a day drink at a frat house. Ironically, Jolt, for all its flaws, was made with real sugar, while most major soda brands were using highly processed corn syrup. However, they also added something else in the Jolt soda, which wasn't good that they were doing that. The original formula also contained small amounts of lithium citrate, which is a real drug. This is the stuff doctors give people with bipolar disorders. Like, it's not really something to be around with. This obviously made critics claim that, hey, you are drugging children. Stop that. And I get that, but also, everyone, stop being a dick. Like, everyone needs some mood stabilizers every now and again, especially if you're drinking 70 milligrams of caffeine. Give the kid a little calming pill. Eventually, Jolt removed lithium from its formula, womp womp. But even though Jolt was able to...
Good morning, Waver. We're learning about energy drinks, buddy. You remember Jolt? I remember Surge, too. That shit was delicious. That was like Mountain Dew's older, more extreme brother. Or maybe younger, more extreme brother with like a death wish.
To deflect criticism long enough to keep their business steady. Once Red Bull was introduced to America in 1997, it was pretty much lights out for Jolt, because Red Bull was flying away, no pun intended. And now we are obsessed with energy drinks. And let's just talk about America. Let's talk about America. We might act like Puritans a lot of the time, but almost every single American is looking for a quick, cheap buzz almost all of the time. Once Red Bull gave a name to the need, we were ready to lap it up. Even though taurine started out with a bunch of scientists playing around with bull semen in a lab, which once again I was not aware of, from a non-existent market in 1997, energy drinks would top annual sales of $600 million by 2006. And they show no signs of slowing down. It is going straight up. Over the last 5 years, energy drink sales have grown by 73%, and in 2023 alone, energy drink companies have made $18.51 billion in the US. Now, are energy drinks good for you? Probably not, I would assume. I don't know. Apparently, the American Academy for Pediatrics think energy drinks are too dangerous to be consumed by teenagers. But I'm a grown man, okay? Many energy drinks contain the basic same formulas, a blend of caffeine, sugar, guarana, whatever that is, and taurine. And these are usually healthy for adults to have, in moderation, occasionally. I'm not doing that. I'm not enjoying an energy bev occasionally, I'll tell you that much. And that's the thing, energy drinks aren't about moderation, they're about defying the odds. Energy drinks are the liquid version of Tony Hawk landing that 900. You know what I'm saying? It's like whenever Doc Brown said you can do whatever you think about. I don't remember the exact quote.
If you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
That is that mentality in a liquid form. And companies understand that. So that's why they crank up the numbers and give us exactly what we want. Which apparently, according to my research, is diabetes and heart attacks. Which whatever the people want, I guess. So I have a lot of statistics here, and this is the part where I turn off the reading comprehension part of my brain so I don't have a panic attack. So I'm just gonna kind of just vocally diarrhea real quick. To begin, on average, one energy drink meets or exceeds the recommended daily intake of sugar, which is 36 grams. Not ideal. One can of Red Bull has 27 grams of sugar, Monster has 54, and Rockstar has 62. And of course, these amounts can increase the risk of obesity and type 2 diabetes. We all know that. However, I drink the sugar-free versions of these sodas, and I'm in the clear because there are no downsides to drinking sugar-free sodas. Chris, take that down. Chris, why would you put that up while I'm making the opposite point? And then there's the topic of the large amounts of caffeine that come in energy drinks, which aside from the undesirable side effects like nausea, jitters, and restlessness, can cause spikes in blood pressure, which in most extreme cases can cause your blood vessels to rip or clot. Not to mention seizures, kidney stones, and muscle breakdown. Good lord, no one told me this about caffeine. I didn't know it could be that dangerous. And also, energy drinks have been linked to disruption with the heart's wiring, and this is where I stopped doing the research, because I did not want to know what that meant, because I'm in deep at this point, and knowing that information is not going to help me. But the next part of the script is about death, so it's not getting any easier. So at least 34 deaths have been directly linked to energy drinks. 5 Hour Energy has been blamed for 22 of them, Monster for 11. Does that add up to 34? 22 plus 11? Is that 34? That would be 33, am I wrong? That's 33, that's not, okay. Maybe I got that, I probably wrote it down wrong in the script. Even Red Bull, the sweet-winged angel, has faced wrongful death lawsuits which they choose to settle out of court. It's likely that the amount of deaths associated with energy drinks are way higher than what's available in the data. And also important to note that pre-existing cardiovascular conditions can contribute to the deaths spurred on by too much caffeine. And did someone say too much caffeine? I couldn't make this video without talking about that Panera poison lemonade that they released. Do we remember that? Actually, you know what? Let's take a second to talk about all the crazy caffeine beverages that I have written down here, because some of these were just straight up negligence. So in the pantheon of dangerous drinks, Panera managed to make lemonade one of the most deadly. Congratulations, Panera. When life handed you lemons, you decided to make everyone die. Very Cave Johnson of you, sir. You took the pure Americana of the lemonade stand and through the twisted funhouse mirror of capitalism, turned it into the juice a cult leader would give his followers. First, you sell us overpriced hospital food, and you couldn't even stick the landing on the free drink that comes with the combo. A 30-ounce charged lemonade was reporting to contain 390 milligrams of caffeine. And I mean, 30 ounces sounds like a lot. It is a lot, but that's just how big a large is at Panera. They are just giving you the slop. You order a large drink and get enough liquid to bathe a small child. A 32 ounce of Monster doesn't even have that much caffeine. And here's the kicker, Panera offers unlimited refills. And like, I know it's up to us as consumers to, you know, not decide to kill ourselves, but at the end of the day, if you offer me a free refill, I'm going to drink more than 1 cup because I'm an American and I'm not going to lose money on this deal. And we can't talk about dangerous caffeinated beverages without discussing the king of death, Four Loko, of course. If you weren't around in the early 2000s, you don't fully understand what a Four Loko was at its peak. Yes, they're still around today, but they are a shadow of their former selves. They have tamed down completely. This blend of energy drink and alcohol nearly wiped millennials from the face of the earth. It seems inevitable that people would start mixing alcohol and caffeinated beverages. I mean, the Vodka Red Bull first hit the scene in the early 2000s, and it hasn't gone away. And Sparks, the first packaged alcohol energy drink, was available in 2002. But these were the guiding lights that inspired 3 frat brothers from Ohio State University to create Four Loko in 2005. And every single word in that sentence makes complete sense. I was not shocked about any of those words. The 4 in Four Loko comes from the 4 original ingredients: taurine, guarana, caffeine, and wormwood. Wormwood, that's kind of a rogue joker. You know, wormwood, the psychoactive substance found in absinthe. You know, the thing that makes you trip balls. The wormwood version of Four Loko, which only had 6% alcohol, was a failure because wormwood usually tastes like shit, and they made a bad calculation. So the Buckeye Bros decided to ditch the lumber, pump up the ABV, and redesign the can so it looked like it was ready to head off for war. Their wormwood-free concoction boasted 12% alcohol and was sold in 23.5 ounce cans. One Four Loko was the equivalent of drinking 4 beers, a can of Red Bull, and a shot of espresso all at once. Now you might be thinking, Tucker, that's a lot going on in one beverage, and you'd be right, but you also have to remember that college kids exist, and they make things called blackout rage gallons, so they were drinking Four Loko like it was...
Hello? Refresh. It's being okay on YouTube. Yeah, reload. I got like 3 minutes left anyway. All right, let's finish this up.
ERs across the country were treating college kids for a near fatal level of blood alcohol. The drink fucked up college kids so badly that police initially thought people who were drunk on Four Loko had been drugged. But it seemed to be working, because in 2010, an estimated 60 million cans of Four Loko were sold. And by the end of the epidemic, all told, Four Loko was blamed for suicides, people walking into traffic, fatal car accidents, and a ton of violent behavior. Hell yeah. College campuses started to ban it, and then states followed suit. And a New York politician, apparently, even staged a stunt where they drank 2 cans of Four Loko in an hour under doctor supervision, which I just to show it was dangerous, I guess, which we all knew, my guy. I feel like this guy just wanted to get drunk on the clock, and I gotta applaud him for that. And he puked everywhere, which is hilarious. That's funny that he did that. But Four Loko became an easy thing to dunk on in popular culture, and in that way it kind of fell apart. And it's very easy to dunk on because there is literally no justification for this product. There is no reason for this thing to exist. Its whole selling point was like, hey, this up. Like, that was the whole bit. The FDA got involved, sending Four Loko a warning and essentially banning alcohol energy drinks entirely. By November 2010, Four Loko voluntarily removed the caffeine from their drinks, and the company had nearly $30 million worth of Four Loko that they couldn't sell. And every kid in my generation was dying to find these. It was like finding lewds, like from Wolf of Wall Street. Like, we knew these Four Lokos were out there. We just need to get our hands on them. We just need to get f***ed up like that. Four Loko loyalists were scrambling across their cities and snatching up the last of the original formula. Some people even held a candlelight vigil for it in Union Square in New York, while one New York City restaurant held a Four Loko night to send them off, and then the state came in and raided their shit and destroyed all their Four Loko. It was a wild time. And now we're here today. I really don't have a conclusion for this. The energy drink history is way more f***ed up than I thought it would be when I started writing this video. Well, Jimmy did a lot of the research. Put up Jimmy again. I gotta keep giving him shout outs. He's so good. But if they're not adding alcohol to energy drinks, who knows what's next? I'm sure there's gonna be a Kratom Taurine mix soon. And no one get an idea from that, because don't do that. But whatever comes next, one thing for sure, it's gonna be insane. New videos every Saturday and Wednesday. Like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the Extra Tuglets for supporting me over on extratug.com. You can go over there right now and subscribe to get, you know, a free video every, well, not free, you're paying for it, but a video every week. You get a bunch of benefits, and it's really fun over there, and I might make a video about you. I don't know. I'm just happy to be here. Shout out Chris Duffy. Shout out my mom. She's chill. Chris asked me for a photo of that so I can put it up there. There's just so many names now that, like, I have to talk for a while in order for it to whatever. I mean, like, I'm just running out of time. Anyway, I'm just gonna knock sleep because it's 7 at night and I just drank a full Monster. So everyone have a good night. Thank you.
I've done that.
So,
all right. Toodaloo, nerds and nerdettes. I'll see you. What is today? Thursday? Friday? I don't do this tomorrow. I do it on Saturday. I'll see some of you at 8 o'clock on Saturday here on Twitch, not on YouTube. Get with the times. Weekends are for Twitch only. All right? All right? All right. I love you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you. Listen, I really do got to give a shout out to my homies over on the YouTube, because you assholes are getting me this much closer to monetization. You guys are what I need. I just need the watch hours. So you guys over on YouTube are really doing me a fucking solid, and I appreciate you a lot. So hit the like button if you're feeling generous. And have a wonderful day. And come join us on Twitch on Saturday, 8 o'clock. We get up early because we're traumatized, I guess. I don't know. I love you. Have a great day.
hopes and dreams.